How's it, guys? It's Omar here, and I thought I'd drop you a video regarding what makes an exceptional director of rugby or head coach of a rugby team. Now, I'm just going to give you my thoughts over the years and years of me coaching at the top flight and working under various different types of personalities of coaches and different coaching style of coaches to give you my opinion on what I think is the best combination for a head coach. Now, you could be coaching at your local team, you could be coaching at various different levels as a head coach, and these insights might help you. Now, I've been coaching in pro rugby for nearly 16 years now, and I've worked under myriads of different coaches with different strengths and weaknesses and skill sets and attributes that I've learned from. I've also obviously studied my MBA, where I've specialized in leadership, and I've tried to sort of make up my own mind from being involved with these top coaches and top environments and bad environments too. You learn from bad environments, and put it together with some of the theoretical stuff I've learned and said, you know, where is the sweet spot on this stuff? So I'm going to give you the basic sweet spot. We're not going to go over the top in terms of jargon and, you know, insights into academic work. What I want to do is discuss with you key factors that I believe make a top head coach. Now, first of all, it's lovely to remember the cliches in all the movies, Any Given Sunday, you know, Friday Night Lights, where the head coach uses a massive emotional spike to get his team or her team up. You know, they walk in the change room, it's like, oh, this is unacceptable. You know, and they throw the clipboard and they go crazy, and the team gets this emotional spike and they win the game. If it was just that easy, obviously anyone could be a head coach. But of course, it's much more complicated than that. And there's a myriad of things that go well beyond just having an emotional rant to get your team up. The head coach that does that, they feel relieved, they feel good about that. Maybe they get that one reaction, and the next time they try and do it, there's no more juice in the tank emotionally, and the team plummets. Remember, the most important thing a head coach wants to do is preserve self-esteem and keep a team feeling like they're building. Okay, now that's not one of my attributes, so this is the global idea, right? Imagine, for example, this is a perfect example. We say, if you win, you're a winner, and if you lose, you're a loser. Now, what is wrong with that, track of thinking or train of thought is simply this. If I say to you, win this game and you're a champion, or you're the best, or lose this game and you're a loser, all I do is sacrifice your self-esteem. But if I say, let's be process-driven, let's follow a good process, and we'll win eventually, then you will be sort of in it for the long run. Because think about this. Imagine you have a certain level of tackle completion. It's 87%. And we lose a game. We say we're going to set a target for you to be at 89, 90% in the next few games. By the next game, you already hit 89, and the next game you hit 91. But during those games, we're losing. But every week I can prove to you, and you can prove to me, you're getting better, and we're globally getting better. That is a better track to follow because you are preserving self-esteem and you're improving performance. Where you say, win at all costs, and we don't, and you don't measure and cover the measurables and measure the performance and follow the process of getting you better per week, all that will happen is your self-esteem will crash and your connection to the team and your connection to the cause will wane, and you won't want to be part of it. So shouting and screaming and ranting and raving, saying you must win or else, sacrifices self-esteem. Whereas following the process, showing you how to get better and why you need to get better, and then actually getting you better leads to high levels of performance and keeping self-esteem intact. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go into the 3 points. So the major 3 points, starting off with one, is know your gift. So number one is all head coaches know their gift. Now, I've worked with a myriad of head coaches, and all head coaches out there have a certain type of gift, but you got to know what you're bringing to the table for myriads of reasons. But let's say, for example, you could be a guy who's highly, highly technical. You know that that's your gift. No one knows the game better than you. No one does analysis better than you. Or, for example, you can be a transformative leader where you transcend the game. You've got charisma, you've got charm, you've got presence, you've got great experience, and people want to connect to you and play for you. Or you've got the ability to speak 5-6 languages, high level of emotional education, emotional expertise, emotional intelligence, and you could connect to people's purpose and their culture and speak their language, and they want to die for you. Or your gift could be you administratively brilliant. You know the game, the ins and outs of the connecting parts of the game, like administration, recruitment, contracting, high performance, you know, all these sorts of things, and marketing, etc. And you're able to bring them all together in the organization because your administrative skills don't leave crumbs on the floor. So whatever your gift is, you'll have one of these 3 gifts, or you might be exceptional and great at all 3. In my experience, you have to have a gift and you have to ride that gift. Now, does that mean if your gift is highly technical but low level of emotional intelligence, does it mean you have to up your emotional intelligence? Well, the short answer is yes, in the sense that, you know, it's going to bring us to our second point, which is going to be self-awareness. If you are self-aware, you know what your gift is, but you know what your downfall is, It's not about spending time on your weaknesses, but it is about being well-rounded in a sense. So you know your gift, but you can have the ability to up something that's not at the highest level in your department. So another example is some coaches are strong at all three, some are medium at all three, some are exceptional and know their gift in one, for example, being highly technical, but the emotional intelligence is zero basically, or they're super bad with people, or their administration skills is super high and their technical is super low. Of course, if your technical is super low, you want to up that side of your game. We'll talk about that just now, but you want to understand more about what your assistant coaches are doing, how their drills function, what drills are the best for a team, and what are the technical concepts that are going in the game that really work. So although you know your gift, you also know what's not your gift, and I think that's key. But the first thing is know your gift and what you bring to the table. Second of all, have a high level of self-awareness. Now, what does self-awareness mean? That means that you understand what your experience has been in your life and how you affect other people. So, for example, if you want to win a cup, okay, and you've got a low level of self-awareness, you might only care about your goals. You don't care about someone else's goals. You don't care how you affect other people when you rant or you rave or you push them too far, or you don't ask about their family, or you don't care about their wife's pregnant or that their girlfriend's gone away, or whatever the case may be. Having a high level of self-awareness is knowing how your leadership style affects other people, how your moods affect other people, how you handling wins and losses affects other people and your staff and your players. And just self-awareness is the ability to say, I'm really good at this, I can improve in this, I really need to understand people more, I've got to give them more time of day, and so on. Instead of someone who's unself-aware who says, I don't have weaknesses, I don't have fallibility, I don't care if this person gets upset when I say this, I don't care if I scream when we lose and that person takes it personally. And that level of lack of self-awareness will always lead you down the wrong track. So self-awareness is key. Now, self-awareness also leads to the improvement of your gift. So, for example, if your gift was the highly technical, as we previously discussed, but you are not emotionally intelligent, for example, so your leadership style of getting people to buy in and buy into your culture, buy into who you are, buy into your game plan, if your emotional intelligence is low, having self-awareness means you will work on that. So you'll gain emotional education, you'll gain an emotional expertise where you can say, okay, this is how you connect with different cultures. This is how you talk to people who are from a different background. This is how you get people to buy into a vision when they maybe not necessarily on the same page. This is how you get alignment. This is how you get clarity. So self-awareness is creating new tools, getting more tools in your toolbox than just the ones you have. And now you say, well, how do you get these things? Well, you can have performance coaches, you can have life coaches who teach you the ability to have harmony with others, to create situations where you can manage conflict or create a vision that you see through when there's obstacles and counter arguments. So that is really, really important. Having self-awareness is knowing what are your stresses, what are your strengths, how you affect people, and what you could do better as a leader, and what you are doing great as a leader, so that you actually have that self-awareness where you can push forward and grow people and grow yourself. So number one, the first most important one was know your gift. Second was self-awareness. Now the last one is the toughest one, which is having a consistent process. So being consistent in your processes. And what that just means is, instead of being emotional after a game, so after a game you lose, damn it, how can we lose? This is disgusting. This is not what I wanted. Do you want to be here? Don't you want to be here? Consistency means you have a technical, tactical, and physical approach to the game. You are calm and cool in most situations. You don't rely on emotional spikes. You rely on processes. So, for example, if you set a vision to be, the number one team in the league that is known for, a team to be admired, that plays board-in-hand rugby, that has a very physical defense, that is resilient, that, never backs down, never gives up, and so on. You can't now get to a change room and scream at them and give up on the game plan, for example. You have to have consistent process. So you have to go back to the drawing board and say, we may have had this loss, let's take the emotion out of it. We're going to go back and study the film, check the stats, check the trend report, and we're going to build on our processes and see where we went wrong. Or right then and then you might have feeling for what went wrong and say, look, it seemed like our game management wasn't great. For me, it seemed like we lost composure in a vital time and didn't adapt. Let's look at our adaptation of our game plan for next week. Let's look at our alignment with our leaders to make sure we can adapt in real time, or whatever the case may be. And you show the people in the room that you're consistent, you're not emotional, that you can go back to the baseline and work back from the baseline. Again, you can sacrifice self-esteem by showing people you're erratic. If you're erratic, they go, well, wow, I don't trust this person. They're erratic. They're just throwing my skill set out the window. They're saying I'm useless. Whereas you're consistent in your process, they go, oh, they measure me on technical, tactical, physical, for example, and they can actually go back to that baseline work we've done and say, let's make some adjustments and then we'll win games. So being consistent in process is key. Also, not being happy when we're winning and sad when we're losing, or being irritable when things aren't perfect, but being amazingly in a good mood when you're going on a winning streak. That is not consistency. Consistency in process, consistency in mood, consistency in attitude, that is the key. What I've learned from top head coaches is they are their best when their teams lose, because they immediately know how to bounce back. You can be agitated and want to vent. You vent to maybe the assistant coaches, or you vent to your high performance coach or a psychologist, or whatever the case is. But in front of your team, the best thing you can do is be consistent. Okay, girls, guys, we lost today, and that's really disappointing. It seems everyone's disappointed. It sounds like everyone's upset. However, we've got a process we follow. We've got systems we adhere to. The system and the processes will reveal where we went wrong and where we need to tweak. That is being consistent. That's having a consistent message. That way you're not overly emotional, you're focused, and you've got a game plan to go back to. So consistent process and being consistent in how you approach your players is key. The last point is, when you come in on a Monday, you may have actually been angrier than on the Saturday when you lost the game. So you might have been composed on the Saturday and angry on the Monday. Now, of course, you're allowed to show emotions. You can say things like, I'm extremely disappointed in how we handled this game. We threw it away at a crucial moment, but this is why. Because we've got X, Y, and Z system, and we veered away from it. So although you're saying things maybe a drop more emotionally and a bit more sternly, you are still consistent in the process, coming back to what are our key KPIs. We measure game management, we measure speed of ball, we measure, ability to adapt in real time to conditions, or whatever the case is. You can use your stern message or a stern tone of voice, or use a myriad of different emotional techniques. But as long as you come back to your technical, tactical, and physical base of, this is how we hold you accountable in the system, this is how we hold you accountable tactically, then it's going to make sense to these guys and girls. So I hope that helps. For me, just to summarize, a key leader, top leader who knows what he's doing or what she's doing, knows their gift. Okay, they are super self-aware and they are consistent in their processes. If you live by those three things as a leader, you will be able to turn any team around. You could be a team that won 6 games and goes on a 3-game losing streak. You can go on a 3-game losing streak and then go on a 7-game winning streak, because if you've got the self-awareness to know where you need to change, if you know what your gift is and you use that to shine, and you are able to have consistent process to say, let's not make emotional decisions and be erratic, let's be consistent, let's preserve self-esteem in the athletes, let's preserve consistency in the camp, and get back to basics in the right way, you will always have your true north. But if you're erratic and you forget these things, it's really easy just to be emotional, throw the baby out with the bathwater, change a selection for no reason, change tactics 360 for no reason, and show the type of immaturity in leadership that only leads to heartache. So I hope that helped. If you need anything else, go to whistletowhistle.com, go to our website, check out our training resources, check out our leadership resources, or just email us at info@whistletowhistle.com if you want a one-on-one with me or want to know more about my approach or our approach to leadership and rugby and sport in general. It's great to see you. Take care.